I could start by saying, do you remember 2 years ago we did a Les Paul video? Well, we're going to finish it.
God, it seems like longer.
Thank you for joining us and welcome. Todd, we are back.
We are indeed, and I think we should probably explain where we've been to everyone first, don't you?
We should, because it's been a while. For probably the last 2 years, we wanted to start a business together. And for the past 12 months, that's exactly what we've been doing.
We have, and it starts with a new joint channel called Bench Critters, which is now live with an intro video explaining what we've been up to.
And we'll pop a link to that video at the end of this video because we're going to need all the support that we can get if we're going to do what we're planning to do, which is to take on at least a little part of corporate America.
We are. I'm excited.
Okay, shall we talk about guitars? Because a long time ago we started building Les Pauls, or at least Les Pauls that cure some of the niggles that we had with Les Pauls.
We did, and we finally have finished guitars.
We do have finished guitars, but you know, the important thing to remember is that it's all your fault that it's taken this long.
I'll take all the blame for it, man. I'll take all the blame.
You know, I was really planning on giving you some grief for how long this has taken in the video, but I think I'm just going to be kind. We should just look at the guitars.
I deserve all the grief you can give me, brother.
Well, having seen the pictures of you, we've exchanged pictures of our guitars now, so should we do a quick recap and let's see the guitars? So let's have a look at yours first.
All right. Here's my beastie, and I am beyond happy with it, as you can see here, and I know I'm going to catch some crap for this, but I have not finished my cavity cover yet.
That's not a finished guitar. Okay, we're going to cut, and we're going to come back in a week when Todd's actually finished his guitar.
Please not. It'll turn into 2 more years, man.
I'm going to let it slide on the basis that I've just done a plastic cavity cover. I don't really have a leg to stand on.
We'll call that even then. But all in all, I'm really happy with how it turned out.
It looks fantastic. Give us a quick reminder just of the wood, because it has been a while since the first video.
It has. So I used a black limba body, center jointed, but I jointed it in a way that it could preserve that pattern up the middle of the back. I got a Buckeye burl top, stained yellow with epoxy yellow filled inclusion, which turned a little green, but I like it. Black burst sprayed around the outside edge. I've got a 9-piece hard maple and wingay neck. I capped the headstock with Buckeye burl as well and bursted that.
Yeah, I really think it pulls the whole thing together.
Yeah, I almost didn't do that. You know, I liked that pattern I was getting from the wingay, but the more I looked at it, knowing how loud this color is, I felt like that needed to be there to tie everything together, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. The neck feels really incredible. The volute carve turned out really nice. It's a monster.
What about your hardware and pickups?
I used the Goto 510 bridge, a wraparound bridge, black of course. 2 Clusen knobs. I used a Switchcraft 3-way switch, a DiMarzio D-Sonic in the bridge, a DiMarzio PF Pro in the neck, black metal pickup surrounds, hip shot locking tuners. That's pretty much it. CTS pots, you know, what we always use.
So we need to talk about the finish on top and the Buckeye, because that, I mean, the back, I love the limber body. I love what you've done with the neck for the laminates, but the top is the star of the show. And I was so skeptical. We did have a lot of discussions about when you said that you were going to use some color on there.
I know, man.
It looks fantastic. It genuinely looks fantastic, and it has richened and warmed up over the last, I don't know, 4 weeks.
Yeah, it absolutely has. And all I did to this, I did squeegee 2 layers of black dyed epoxy to fill the inclusions in this burl. Then I sanded that back to 360 grit, and I put 2 coats of yellow aniline alcohol dye on it. That's all I did to this thing before I sprayed the burst around it. But I could not believe how this top turned out with just those 2 elements, you know. I mean, this guitar could not be finished any other way than gloss, I don't think.
I know, no, that had to be gloss. And I like what you've used. So you've got multicolored pickups, you've got the yellow and black pickups, and the black hardware is absolutely the right hardware color.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. DiMarzio wound these pickups for me. You know, if you order color pickups from DiMarzio, they custom wind them. I like it, man. It's turned out to be a monster, and it plays like butter. But enough about mine, Gio. Let's have a look at yours, because I know, above all things, yours is going to be so much more elegant than mine, and I've seen pictures of it already. And man, what a beautiful guitar.
That's such a kind way of saying simple, but I appreciate it. Let's show you. Okay, I'll try to go fairly slow. So I used a Kaya neck with a Zero-Cote fretboard, and I'll do a close-up of the fretboard in a second. So, yes. Thank you. So yes, it's a Kaya neck with a one-piece Okame body. I've used Zero-Cote and maple to stack the heel because I've got a Zero-Cote fretboard, and this is the one that you sent me, Todd, and it is stunning. I'll do a close-up in a second. And I've got double flamed maple binding on the neck and the body, and it's the first time that I've done wood binding on a guitar, and I absolutely love it, particularly with the finish that's on there, with kind of a satin finish. It looks, it's just right up my street. I may have to pop some pictures on the screen because I really don't know whether the detail of the fretboard would come out on this or not. And also whether you'll see the flaming in the maple. I don't know whether that would come out on camera. But I'm so happy with the way this thing looks, and it's an elm top as well. That's the other thing that I use, which is one of those kind of woods that people really tend not to use. I haven't seen another guitar done in elm, but it is beautiful, and it's not expensive at all. I think it was less than 40 euros for that top.
Yeah, what a killer top, man. It looks like caramel.
Yeah, it's lovely and warm and rich, and I kind of wanted the whole thing, well, you know, right from the start, the whole thing was for it to look very clean, very simple. That's kind of how I do it. It's what I like.
It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. What are those pickups?
The pickups are bare knuckle old guard P90s. I used the same bridge that you did. I used a wraparound Goto bridge, and we'll talk about that because that was something that I don't think I'll be repeating, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I use the top locking Clousson tuners that I use on most guitars now because I just love them. This is probably a good point to talk about some of the niggles that we had then. So the neck heel, we've done a very similar thing, I think, and we've done it, I think, on all of our guitars. But if you hold yours up to the camera, I'll do the same with mine. Because I think, for me at least, having this sort of arrangement where you have a seamless heel has transformed the guitar more than anything else, the way that it plays.
Man, I could not agree more. I mean, I've gotten to the point, and I know you feel the same way. I love that seamless heel carve on a set neck guitar. All mine are that way, and I know you do the same thing.
The other thing we should talk about, because I suspect neither of us are going to do this again, but the other part was the distance that the strings are from the body, because we both like quite a low height, like 8 to 10 millimeters for things like hip shot bridges and that sort of style. So neither of us like the Tunematic. We don't find it comfortable and it's too high. So we've elected to use the Goto round wraparound bridges, and mine is recessed 4mm into the body, which feels really nice when I'm playing it, but I have a real issue with this. So you tell me first if you're having any problems, and then because I know what it is if you are.
Man, I love the way it feels, just like you just got through saying. However, stringing this thing is an absolute nightmare.
I knew that's what you were going to say. It's the same thing with me, and we've had the same. I guarantee it's for the same reason.
Oh yeah, it's because of the recess. And I noticed that in the picture I saw yours, you cut like a little bowl cut at the back of your recess. That was a really smart idea.
I was planning on doing that because I knew I was going to have that issue, but I just didn't understand. I didn't realize how much of a problem it would be. So when you stick the strings through, they obviously come out at the bottom, and I have done a deeper recess so that the whole thing rounds, it kind of bends around, but I still need to grab the strings with some tweezers or something to pull them up and round, and if I'm not careful, it will rub on the back. So I could solve that by routing a bit further back. It wouldn't look the way that I want it to look, in all honesty, if I did it that way. And for me, it's not worth doing that again. But it was worth, I'm glad I tried it.
I am too. I mean, I've done this one time before on the Astrolabe. I recessed that into the body, only 3mm on that guitar, but I had a 1 to a 1.5 degree break angle cut on that neck. It just happened to string up way easier than this guitar did, being on the parallel plane.
Right. How about weight? Did you weigh yours yet?
I have. I knew you was going to ask me that question, and I came in at 7.5 pounds exactly.
Well, that's good. From the comments on the first video, a lot of people do have problems with the weight of a Les Paul, and I have to say, having come in at, this one's dead on 7 pounds strong, and it is lovely having a not heavy, rather than super light, just having a not heavy guitar is actually a very nice thing.
It is, and comparatively speaking, between either of our guitars and a standard Les Paul, which these are really not standard Les Pauls, you know, they're just shaped like that, you know.
Actually, the only thing that they have in similar to Les Paul is that we did make it a rule that we were going to use the exact shape of the Les Paul, and I even cheated slightly because I gave that a sharp horn at the bottom. But it is obviously intended as a Les Paul. The scale length and everything else is the same. The other thing that is worth having a chat about at this point is our pickup position. You did just touch on it. So I've moved the bridge pickup a lot further away than I normally would from the bridge, and that's given it a really lovely warm kind of sound. And likewise, I've moved the neck pickup 5mm further back rather than bunching it right up against the edge of the fretboard, which has given that a little more bite and clarity than I would have got previously. It's a beautiful sounding guitar. I'm so happy with it.
I'm so glad, man. My pickups, I went about 10mm from the edge of the bridge on my bridge pickup. And because I used humbuckers, I knew I was going to be cramped for space in between these. So I did run mine right up against the end of the fretboard. But my fretboard's extended. So it's, you know, I had to make room for my adjustment nut on the truss rod. So I butted mine right up against the end of the fretboard. And, you know, it left me probably 65, 70mm in between the two. So I think, and the fact that I've got a hot D-Sonic pickup in the bridge and a PAF Pro in the neck, I went for those because I knew I was going to place these this way. You know, I wanted the bridge to have a nice bite and the neck to be warm and vintage almost, you know?
I do. Now, the other thing that you have done that I've noticed is the bevels on your guitar. You've done some comfort carves, both on the front and on the back.
I have. I cut a belly cut into mine. I reliefed the back of the cutaway right here just to improve that access right there. Yet another thing that we both try and do on our guitars is improving that access up to the upper registers on the fretboard. And I really think that helps because I relief carved the front just a little as well. But yeah, I did my standard sweet tea thing to put a long sweeping bevel around the perimeter. And I also did this thing on the back, if you'll remember, that cutaway where it hides the jack.
Yeah, and that's a great idea. The reason that I tend to pop mine around the back is that I play wirelessly quite a bit. So there's wireless dongles that you get. There's no 90-degree option for them. Well, I think you can get adapters that aren't great, but they stick out about that far. So when you're sitting on the couch or a chair just noodling away, your guitar will be resting on that, and I don't like that. It's so simple to move it round to the back as well, and I don't think it makes it look any worse.
It doesn't. I mean, you know, that's not going to have any effect or any impact on playability. As a matter of fact, I think what that's going to do is improve the lifespan of the jack for someone who sits and plays, you know.
Something else we did talk about was that we were struggling to fit in. It's been such a long time since we did the first video of this to this video, and we've said before that we're struggling to fit in builds in between the other things that we're doing. And part of that is because we've both got a list of commissions that we need to start working on. So we actually had a chat the other day and thought, well, why don't, for the next collaboration, we don't necessarily need to build the same thing. Why don't we just do commission builds collaboration, and I'll do what I've been commissioned to do and Todd will do the same. So I think we're agreed now that that's the plan, right?
That is indeed the plan. I think that's a great idea. I think that's going to help me, and I hope it does you as well, to make sure I think through everything like we just got through talking about, to make sure I think it through before I attempt anything new on one of these commission builds, because it's really important for me and for you, I know, that we get these right for our clients, you know. I really want to knock this out of the park. We really want to thank you guys for waiting so long and being so supportive while we've been gone. Some of the messages we've both gotten have been so kind and so sincere. We really do appreciate it, and I did not want to let this video pass by without saying that. Don't forget to head over to Bench Critters here on YouTube. Check out the video. Drop us a comment. Let us know what you think about our new format and about our new ideas. We're having so much fun doing this, and I can't wait for all of you to get a little taste of what it is we've been working on so hard.
Let's do our usual thing of an hour of outtakes followed by 10 minutes of salvageable content.
Yeah, cue the Japanese hornet.
This is going to take, this first bit's going to take so long. I know it already. It's been too long. I'm going to see if I can just go right off the bat and do it. I feel quite nervous because it's been a while since we've done it.
Shut up. Yeah, I don't want to hear about your feelings. What are we doing today?
I'm sorry, I'm not feeling it today.
Fa la 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 la. Me, at.
I was just thinking, all of your subscribers have sent you really nice messages saying, I hope you're okay. And I send you messages saying, finish that Les Paul. I'm like the least supportive person to you. This is going to be a great business relationship. It's like waiting for my wife to get ready, waiting for you to prepare to go on camera.
Yeah, well, I have a regiment. You know, I have to prepare myself. I've started to skip the makeup. You know, the eye cream helps.